Because
I
yung
cannot.
iba po, binibigyan lang po ng permit to carry na with 500 rounds.
Nanalo na nga sila with that eh.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have to loosen the law? For you to win again?
Or to maintain.
Maintain lang po
Yan.
natin.
Siguro yan.
That's
Ganun.
why I do not
Ilagay lang
agree
po
with your
natin.
point, Mr. Reyes.
Kasi nga po, yung
Good morning po.
Yes, maraming salamat, General Dilan. While I was comparing with my partner, Congressman Acop and Senator Busita. Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng issue dyan no, nung hearing namin po about the those foreigners who are owning guns. No? Kasi maraming balita that can you kindly give us an estimate on how many fake documents that was secured by those foreigners to acquire license from FEO. Kasi sa PNP nakakuha si Tony Yang di ba? You remember the issue about this Tony Yang?
Yes, sir.
So, bakit po siya nakakuha ng license pero alam naman po natin na well, siguro hindi nyo alam pero foreigner siya, di ba? So, can you kindly explore this issue? Kasi kung si Tony Yang ay isa lamang doon sa mga hindi Pilipino na nakakuha, what more yung iba pang mga foreigners? Sige, sir.
Yes, sir. Nag-submit po si Mr. Tony Yang ng mga requirements gaya ng birth certificate, yung license niya, driver's license. So, apparently, yung evaluators natin, sir, they thought na these were authentic documents. Kaya po, nag-proceed po yung application niya, sir.
Is there any no other way for the licensing authority to validate the authenticity of those licenses that required by your office? Kasi katulad nun, no? What are the requirements needed para po basta ba magdadala na lang sila ng driver's license or birth certificate? And per se, kung nai-produce na yon, that's it. You don't need to validate it anymore.
Based dun lang po, sir, sa isinasubmit nilang documents,
Yun lang pinagbabasihan.
yes, sir. But ang process po, sir, is dapat po i-present yung original document, sir, when claiming the ID.
So wala pa tayong tinatawag na automated system on these requirements. Like for example, kung ang requirement nyo is birth certificate, wala pa tayong understanding or undertaking with PSA or the LTO with regards to this authenticity of these documents that was submitted to FEO.
Wala pa po, sir, but we have efforts towards that end, sir.
Kasi kung, for example, ako, foreigner ako, tapos magsasubmit ako sa inyo, do I need to be present when submitting all these documents like driver's license, birth certificate? Do
Yes,
I
sir.
have to be present?
Yes, sir.
Kailangan present ka.
Opo, sir.
And then, from that document, yun lang ang pagbabasehan natin kung i-issue natin sila ng ano.
Yes, sir.
So, parang nagkaroon tayo ng failure on this matter, no? Kasi we have found out doon sa hearing namin na hindi po siya Pilipino. The chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Rinante Arrogancia. So, ano po, ano nangyari po doon sa mga lisensya na issue natin kay Mr. Tony Yang?
It was revoked, sir.
So how many more foreigners na na-revoke natin ng mga lisensya?
Around 40, sir.
40?
Yes, sir.
So far, 40 pa lang. But meron pa po tayo mga ibang tinitignang mga personalities.
Yes, sir. Continuous po yung effort natin, sir, na mag-validate po, sir.
How about yung mga brothers ni Mr. Tony Yang? Sila Michael Yang, sila ano? Na-issuean ba natin sila ng mga licenses?
No, sir.
Wala.
Yes, sir. We checked already on that matter, sir.
And that is one of the provision of the bill na need to be addressed, no?
Yes,
Yung mga ganito. And doon sa bill natin, merong provision doon that foreigners can be issued licenses, no? Yung mga permanent resident na mga foreigners. So yun yung i-discuss natin po sa technical working group that will be created by this committee in a while. So baka may mga question ang ating mga members about this issue. Congressman Basita.
Mr. Chair,
you
actually,
are,
wala
you
po
are
akong-
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, wala po akong questions to any resource person. Mr. Chair, may I move to create technical working group?
We will be asking muna yung ibang pang resource
yes.
person.
Sorry,
and then
Mr.
we'll be, we'll
Yes,
be recognizing you. So,
Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway, sayang naman yung time na binigay niyo sa akin. Mr. Chair, pwede po bang malaman sa FEO? Currently, more or less, may data po ba kayong dala kung ilan yung licensed firearms?
Yes, sir. We have data on that, sir.
May we know how many?
The universal data, sir, is around 2.7 million po, sir.
Registered firearms, license.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. 2 point,
To be exact, sir, 2,752,539 po, sir.
yes. Mr. Chair, maray bang malaman, meron bang loose firearms? Siyempre.
Yes, sir.
Based on your data, how many loose firearms?
We have around 545,742 firearms that can be categorized as loose firearms because they cannot be renewed anymore, sir. Kasi po, na-revoke po sila, sir.
Okay, so if we have a list of lost firearms and that is more than 500,000? Tama?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Meron po ba kayong accomplishment periodically?
Yes, sir. Meron po, sir.
Meron po ba dyan? Like, for example, Mr. Chair, today is January 13. So, last December, ilan po ang accomplishment ninyo against loose firearms?
Sir, we'll submit po, sir, yung data after this meeting, sir.
Mr. Chair, pwede po bang mag-request na to direct the PNP to submit list of their accomplishments with regard to the lost firearms periodically, Mr. Chair?
Okay, the PNP is hereby directed to submit to us, ASAP, the list of the accomplishment regarding doon po sa mga loose firearms, yearly. Am I correct?
Monthly, Mr. Chair.
Monthly. Okay. Para maging basis po natin sa technical working group that we will be creating in a while. Okay? PNP? Klaro po.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pwede po bang malaman, Mr. Chair, kailan isa-submit ng PNP?
Within this week, sir.
Within this week, siguro, Mr. Chair, kahit until Friday this week. Kaya po ba, PNP?
Yes, sir.
Yung po ba isa-submit nyo is good for 2024?
Yes, sir. Opo, sir.
How about yung ibang years po? Can you submit?
Yes, sir. Cumulative na po yun, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so kung wala na po tayong punta tayo sa NICA, no? NICA, being represented by si Director Silvio, Directorate for Counterintelligence. Director Perlu, Silvio, you are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Dan Bernabez and other members of this committee. colleagues in the government, stakeholders from the firearm sector. Magandang umaga po ulit. In behalf of NICA, we'd like to recognize and appreciate the initiatives of the honorable congressman for initiating these 3 bills. And for NICA, rest assured, sir, rest assured that we will be continuously collecting informations, gather this in line with the emerging threats, both at the domestic scene and at the international level. Of course, we will be glad to share informations also, and for that, we will be submitting our position within this week, Mr. Chair. That's all. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nika po. Have you submitted a position paper in this matter?
Masabi ko po, within this week po.
Okay, please. All right, so the next resource person is Ambassador? No. Attorney Martin B. Ontog, the Chief for Legal and International Affairs of the Office of the Special Envoy on Transnational Crime. Sir, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Special Envoy on Transnational Crime, a pleasant morning to the chairperson and the members of this committee, as well as the stakeholders and colleagues in the government. Good morning. First of all, Mr. Chair, upon review of the 3 House bills introduced, we took notice that some provisions take steps toward enhanced firearm regulation, prioritizing safety and accountability. In contrast, there are also provisions that risks undermining these gains by prioritizing individual convenience over public safety and security. Collectively, these bills highlight the ongoing need for a balanced, evidence-based approach to firearm regulation and legislation that prioritizes societal welfare over individual firearm privileges. From the perspective of the transnational crime prevention, some provisions in the House bills provide opportunities to enhance firearm regulation and align with international standards. However, some provisions push for a relaxed regulations that risks undermining these efforts and could inadvertently contribute to the proliferation of firearms and ammunition in the transnational black markets. Your Honor, if we may, this committee should prioritize a robust public safety, monitoring mechanisms, and adherence to global standards to prevent the Philippines from becoming a hub for transnational weapons trafficking. That would be all, Your Honor.
Mukhang advance kayo sa inyong position paper, and thank you for
Yes,
this.
Your Honor.
And we were discussing about the position paper that you have submitted to us. So thank you for that. It will give us more flexible room para we can adapt a more adaptive bill, no, dito sa ginawa po nating sponsorship do sa House Bill number 1141. Okay, so sunod na po natin yung firearm dealers and manufacturers. So we have invited also the owner of Armscore. So sino ba owner? Armscore, si Miss Christina Tuason. Ma'am, you are recognized. Ay, sino pa? Yung Firearms and Ammunition Manufacturers Association of the Philippines, PAMAP, si Miss Gina Marie ang angko, ang presidente. So, ma'am, you are now recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, to the honorable members of the Congress and our fellow stakeholders in the industry and our partners in the various government offices. We are very happy that this House bills are being taken up. We have no opposition, and we truly support the need to have peace and order in our country. However, we do want to emphasize that there are illegal manufacturers and illegal dealers and owners of illegal firearms that put a bad light on our industry. And we have identified some of the provisions here. Many of them are all right, some of them are not. But we will present a formal position paper once we start finding out what other concerns are. But one of the issues here, you want to take it up regarding the number of firearms? There is a bill here that regarding the number of firearms that an individual can possess. We have allowed, the PNP or the government has allowed type 5 license holders, meaning they can own more than 15 firearms. And there are some who already have more than that. Based on this law number, no, it was here. Here. 9718. Type 5 is being reduced to 20 firearms, and the balance of the firearms in excess of 20 are supposed to be surrendered without compensation. It was allowed, and so these people are not the ones who have committed the crimes. Based on, I know the intent of this is to prevent election-related violence and other crimes, but based on statistics we've heard, because I think in one hearing in the Senate, the PNP was asked for statistics on firearms involved in crime. Without that, the latest statistics we've heard is legal firearms only account for 0.005% of the crimes involved in firearms. So this is a very small, of course, every crime is not good, but if we are going to look at the efforts put on controlling and further regulating the legal industry without doing more against the illegal industry, we are being put at a disadvantage when we follow the law carefully. So we'll go, as we go along, we'll maybe request to put our position.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Gina. We will be inviting you over on the technical working group.
Yes,
don't
we'll
worry.
be very
So-
happy to support that.
All right, thank you so much. So, we have also invited yung ating pong mga shooting associations and gun owners associations. So, sa Metro Arms Corporation, kasama po natin si Attorney Hector Rodriguez and Attorney Modesto Lacambra. Sir, you are recognized, please. Ano susunod dito?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the members of this committee. It has been 10 years since the Republic Act 10591 was enacted. It was and took effect sometime in 2014. And we welcome the move of this committee to revisit the law and introduce amendments based on our experiences in the implementation of the said law. So we fully support that. We have filed our preliminary position paper after reviewing the 3 pending bills. Basically, majority of it we do not have any comment, except that for House Bill number 893 on section 40 of RA 10591, wherein the fine or is being increased from 10,000, I think, to 100,000. We find it too excessive, Your Honor. On section 43 on the final amnesty, we just have a question on the term mentioned there, the term unregistered firearm in the first paragraph of the said section. Does it include fully automatic rifles classified under RA 10591 as light weapons? Will the bill, if enacted into law, allow accept those fully automatic firearms or rifles classified as light weapons? As far as House Bill number 9718 filed by the Honorable Eduardo Brother Eddie Villanueva, we just have one comment, Your Honor. It pertains to the surrender of the ammunition possessed by a licensed citizen in excess of what will be finally approved as the quantity allowed to be bought or possessed by a licensed citizen. And that bill requires the excess thereof to be surrendered to the Philippine National Police. Our comment is just, it is confiscatory in nature, it is unconstitutional, it constitutes an unlawful taking of one's property without due process of law, and of course, just compensation. As far as House Bill number 11141 filed by the Honorable Chairman, just a few comments, or some of which are questions and clarification. As far as on the proposed amendment to Section 3Y of 10591, which states in part, permit to carry firearms outside of residence refers to a written authority issued to a licensed firearm by the Chief of the PNP, or a duly authorized representative, or by the Chief of RCSU, which entitles such person to carry his or her registered or lawfully issued firearm outside of residence. For question or clarification, under the above quoted provision, will the Chief of the RCSU still need to be authorized in writing by the PNP Chief before she can issue a PTCFOR to a licensed citizen? Second question or clarification, does the phrase registered or lawfully issued firearm underscored in the above quoted provision include registered or lawfully issued rifles and shotguns to licensed citizens classified under RA 10591 as small arms? On Section 5 of the amendatory bill amending certain provisions of Section 13 of RA 10591, the proposed amendment as written in the last paragraph of page 7 of the amendatory bill states, upon approval of the license to manufacture or otherwise deal in firearms by the Chief of the PNP or a duly authorized representative as the case may be, the same shall be transmitted to the FEO of the PNP, which shall issue the license in accordance with the approved terms and conditions upon execution and delivery by the applicant of the required bond. Again, question and clarification. The amendatory bill did not state the basis in setting or computing the amount of bond to be
Attorney
posted.
Rodriguez, your questions and clarification will be discussed on the
Okay. Yes.
appropriate time, like on the technical working group that will be
Yes.
created. For the meantime, we wanted to find out your position on this matter.
Yes, Your
Only your position. And then we will be discussing the the merit of your
Thank you.
clarification on the proper time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Those are stated in our position, but just one last. On Section 9 of the amendatory bill amending Section 21, wherein firearms and its parts solely for import and export are being exempted from the procurement of the certificate of authority to transport from the COMELEC. We would just like to recommend that the term firearms, more particularly its part, the parts must be enumerated, because under the Republic Act 10591, there are so many parts that are mentioned there. The major parts, minor parts, accessories, forgings and castings, and mill run parts. And we would like that to be enumerated in the law, because some government agencies are not so clear on that provision, its part. Just like the Bureau of Customs, when we import our materials from abroad, casting, mill run parts, forgings, they still require us to secure a COMELEC exemption during the election gun ban. But I think the COMELEC has position there is that they only regulate firearms and I think major parts. So that is stated in our position paper. Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Chairman.
All right. Thank you so much, Attorney Rodriguez. So we'll go to the next resource person, Mr. Alaric Topacio of the AFAD. So, Mr. Efren Reyes, kasamahan ko sa pelikula. Ilan na ba napatay mo sa pelikula using licensed
Ilang
firearms?
beses na akong pinatay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Your
You are
Honor.
now recognized, Mr. Efren Reyes Jr. Go ahead.
Thank you po. As a representative of Philippine Shooters and Match Officers Confederation, headed by former TESDA Secretary Suharto Mangudadatu, former congressman too, I'm being the Vice President External of PSMOC. The position right now is I agree with mostly of all their resentments and with regards to the mga bills na they're trying to pass, and the position right now for PSMOC is the shooters, ever since the enactment of the RA 10591, we have been what you call this disenfranchised. Because yung iba po, binibigyan lang po ng permit to carry na with 500 rounds.
Nanalo na nga sila with that eh.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have to loosen the law? For you to win again?
Or to maintain.
Maintain lang po
Yan.
natin.
Siguro yan. Ganun.
That's why I do not
Ilagay lang
agree
po
with your
natin.
point, Mr. Reyes.
Kasi nga po, yung mga nakaraang mga chief PNP po, I'm not mentioning na, napunta po sa chief PNP ang pagbibigay ng permit to carry sa mga sport shooters, wherein we do not carry, we merely transport the firearms.
Hindi. Ang point ko, Mr. Reyes, with the
Opo.
present law, nanalo na kayo ng 1, 2, 3. Yun ang sabi mo eh.
Opo.
Oh, tapos ngayon, luluwagan para magkaroon kayo ng 5,000 na ammunition for one. Kasi limited to 500 according to the law.
The 500 is for the transport of the firearm, of the ammunition to the range.
Yes.
Yung
So,
5,000,
that is not enough.
the 500, usually po, 500 is kung minsan kinukulang pa ang shooter sa firing range for a competition.
Yung PNP, do you agree with that? That 500 is not enough for practice? For one practice session? Under the law, they can replenish. What's the problem?
Opo.
Wala palang problema eh.
So, ang sinasabi ni Chairman Acop ay we created champions, di ba? The best, no? Using the present law. And in this bill, increasing the amount of ammunition, no? Parang hindi natin nabibit yung purpose, di ba? Unless that we wanted to have more champions, no? In different categories. So probably that's the best answer.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we will just submit our position paper later.
Alright. Kasi yun lang yung narrative po ni Chairman Acop that since we have already approved yung law and we created champions at mga magagaling sa buong mundo, palagay ko ay marami pa na maghahangad kung mas marami yung nagagamit nating mga ammunition during practices ng mga associations. Anyway, siguro, Chairman, ako, we will be discussing that thoroughly on the technical working group. Talagang medyo masalimuot tong isyong to. So, we will be proceeding to the next, Mr. Topacio, are you raising your hand?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Mr. Chair, to answer the question lang of the good Congressman Acop, I think si Mr. Reyes, hindi niya masyado explain. A lot of these shooters during the gun ban and most of the time when they practice, a lot of them are in the US because in the US they don't restrict ammunition. If you talk to any shooter here in the Philippines, especially those who compete abroad, I mean, my brother is part of the national team for shotgun, and he can only bring a certain amount of rounds during practice rounds. The minimum amount of ammunition, if you want to train competitively, if you want to go to the World Cup, if you want to join the Olympics or the SEA Games, is at least 1,000 to 1,500 rounds a day. And we are only being allowed, I believe, if you're a sport shooter, 500. And during that time, Mr. Chair, even if you replenish, it takes probably a week at most to get a permit to transport. Whereas if you're a competitive shooter and you're representing the Philippines, you would need to practice almost every day if possible. So I think that is the reason why these proposed amendments are being kaya siya linalatag po sa inyo, Mr. Chair. It's not only to allow yung amount of ammunition to be owned, but also most of the reason is because sport shooters really need to practice with a lot of ammunition. And bear in mind po, Mr. Chair, with the increase of ammunition na pinopropose po dito sa House Bill, from what we understand, this does not only include the civilians. Because as gun stores po, whenever we sell ammunition, even to law enforcement, may it be the PNP, NBI, PDEA, AFP, when they buy ammunition in their personal capacity, we can only sell them 50 rounds.
Okay. That's understandable. Now,
Chair, Mr.
medyo,
Chair.
before, sige, Congressman Acop din, Congressman Plato.
Kasi yun lang ang provided for by law and you have to abide by that. Di ba? That is what the law says. Otherwise, criminal cases will be filed against you if
Yes.
you violate that.
Yes. That's why we support the amendment nga po, Mr. Congressman. Thank you po.
Alright, so we will be, medyo umiinit na ang ating discussion and that's the reason why we need to create a technical working group on this matter. Kasi
Chair.
medyo contentious siya. Pero because we have an existing law and we have to follow it, and that's the reason why meron tayong amendments na gagawin natin. But, of course, it
Mr.
will be also debatable on the technical working group.